my God. Pooh Shiesty's legal team is fighting for him to get released on bond after not only Pooh Shiesty's dad, but Big 30 were released from the feds. Now they're obviously on like home detention, ankle bracelets, whatever, right? It's very strict, but they're free. Pooh Shiesty, his legal team put in a request for the same treatment and they clapped back with 65 pages of get the f out of here.
Bro.
According to the homies at No Jumper, new court filings say Pooh Shiesty poses danger to the community, claims he has shot at least 2 people, opposes bond, and should remain in jail.
Not for real.
Says rapper Pooh Shiesty is simply too dangerous to be out on bond. The rapper's real name is Lontrell Williams Jr. He is asking to be released on bond ahead of his trial.
Not getting out, boy.
He and 8 other men, including his father, are accused in the January robbing and kidnapping of his record label owner Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane, Gucci Mane, Gucci Mane.
Shiesty's father and rapper Big 30. They're already out on bond, but here's this new filing. Prosecutors argue Shiesty should not
This lady speaks in slow motion.
be allowed out under any circumstance.
You know, I had every intention on playing that video, but this is my first time listening to it and I just can't get past how slow she speaks. So I'm just gonna read y'all the documents because we got shit to do today. We ain't got all this time to be listening to this lady barely get through what she's talking about. Now, this is Pooh Shiesty's motion for de novo review, or basically just to get out of the feds. Now, the introduction is gonna be talking about how he got hit with this kidnapping and conspiracy to commit extortion case on La Gooch. We already know that, right? But it would state he was arrested on April 1st, and nearly 3 months after the alleged incident, he was later indicted on April 28th. Throughout that entire period, he was on electronic monitoring. His location was known to law enforcement around the clock, and he did nothing to evade scrutiny. He made every check-in, he passed every drug test, he did not run. But I mean, homie, that's kind of the reason why they're like, no, we ain't letting you out. You did this shit on an ankle monitor. The PO called you right before you did it and you were like, oh yeah, I don't have permission to be here. All right, I'll check in with y'all. Just let me rob Gucci first. Now, the judge ordered detention for 4 reasons. The weight of evidence against Pooh Shiesty is strong, that Shiesty is a danger to the community, he poses a flight risk, and that no conditions can adequately protect against those concerns. Now, the rest of this document is just basically all the legal verbiage of why he should be released. And oh, kidnapping, it only, they gotta prove this, and we don't feel like they've proved that, whatever. But let's get into the 65-page clapback that the feds filed. Now, this is the government.
65 pages? You know, if the feds write back 65 pages, it's serious, y'all. He did it. Ain't no free Shiesty, ain't no none of that. He did it.
Response to Shiesty's motion. And immediately they would point out Shiesty orchestrated an armed kidnapping and robbery while on federal home confinement. Him and 8 co-conspirators perpetrated the armed kidnapping and robbery of 3 victims in a Dallas, Texas recording studio. Shiesty also leads a Memphis-based street gang referred to as the Chopper Gang. At the time of this offense, Shiesty resided in North Texas, fulfilling the final months of a 63-month sentence for conspiracy to possess firearms and furtherance of violence and drug trafficking crimes in violation of the feds. Now, Memphis detective Paul Petty previously explained to the courts on May 27th regarding co-defendant Kadarius Waters. The Chopper Gang is Memphis-based clique of the Grape Street Crips that has been known to participate in homicides, robberies, carjackings, firearm offenses, narcotics trafficking. And Shiesty is the co-founder of the gang, which has close to 100 or more members.
Damn, what?
Now, maybe I just didn't know, but I wasn't aware that Pooh Shiesty was a Grape Street Crip.
Yeah, I thought he was blood. I ain't gonna lie. When he said straight street Crip, I'm in my head like, damn, Shiesty was a Crip? When Shiesty been Crip? I thought Shiesty was blood.
Or maybe he's just Chopper Gang and Chopper Gang has Grape Street members. I don't know. Now, as part of Shiesty's sentence, he was required to reside in Frisco, Texas, and he obviously wasn't allowed to have guns, couldn't associate with people with a criminal record, couldn't consume alcohol or use controlled substances. And unless given specific permission, Shiesty was required to remain at his house, but routinely failed to abide by these conditions throughout the course of his home confinement, assisted in skirting these requirements through the help of collusive VOA employees. Investigators have now learned that Shiesty was involved in an inappropriate relationship with at least one of his VOA case supervisors, and that his VOA employee was actively involved in entering fake day passes that would allow him to travel to unapproved locations while he was supposed to be confined to his house. This misconduct extended to the day of the kidnapping itself. On that day, the employee entered 3 day passes, allowing Shiesty to travel, and contacted him 19 times over the course of the day. That person was terminated for that conduct.
Dang. So he was smashing on whoever was allowing him to travel. Oh my God. That is very P, y'all. Y'all don't understand. That is very P. Only Shiesty can do that, probably. I ain't gonna lie. I've never heard of this.
Wait a minute. You're telling me Pooh Shiesty had Shiesty federal employees that were giving him fake passes so that he could leave his home confinement? So technically he had permission. It was just illegal permission to be out, but does that fall on him? Or does that fall on the employee that was doing things for him? But this right here is where things get crazy. This release, printed by Shiesty's dad at Staples hours before the offense, was later recovered from Shiesty's dad's emails. Gucci refused to sign, and that caused Shiesty to instruct Big 30 to bring him his bag. When he did so, he produced an AK-styled pistol described by the victims as a chopper, pointed it at Gucci's head, and repeated his demand until Gucci signed the paper. The co-defendant, DeMarcus Glover, who had entered the recording room as the altercation ensued, blocked the door holding a Draco. Now, this is Gucci. We can see Shiesty. And this is Shiesty's dad right here holding the fucking document.
Goofy.
So, this is
goofy, bro. This is who y'all look up to when y'all singing them songs. FDO, first day out. Bruh. This is the dumbest nigga on earth. I ain't lying. The dumbest nigga on earth. Insane.
They literally have the video of this going down, which initially we thought they didn't. We thought they didn't have this key piece of evidence, and now we're seeing they have it. Now, again, the feds are stating the weight of the evidence against Shiesty is extraordinarily strong. And this is crazy because we all thought the case could be weak. His lawyer came out and said, look, there's no video, there's no guns that have been recovered, there's no jewelry that's been recovered, like we don't have any of this, they haven't tied my client to it. But the feds are like, nah, we got you.
Bro.
The brunt of Shiesty's argument in favor of his pretrial release is premised on his perception that the weight of the evidence in this case does not support detention. The fact includes the cooperation of all 5 victims and witnesses, cell phone location data, and surveillance video placing the co-conspirators at the scene, and the video that Big 30 filed of RD, Roderick Davis, aka the Gooch, in the recording room being forced to declare that Pooh Shiesty was dropped from the label and released from the contract. The judge called this evidence strong, and on April 8th, on a record that did not yet include the release paperwork of the video, both have now been recovered. So I don't know if Shiesty planned this prior, we don't know this, but Big 30 thought he was doing his big one by recording Gucci saying, hey, I'm releasing him from the contract.
Yeah, that wasn't gonna work.
And this video apparently not only shows somebody with a gun and shows a little bit more than they wanted it to show. This video was recovered. Even though Big 30 apparently smashed or attempted to get rid of the phone, they were able to get it. Among other evidence, the government's case includes not 1 but 5.
Y'all don't realize, right? Y'all don't realize that if you delete something off your phone, the cloud is so big, it stays on there for an amount of days, right? I don't know how long it stays on there, but when you delete something, it could be still in the cloud for a year to 3-4 years. So think about what you're doing before you record something.
Cooperating victims and witnesses.
Especially if it's bad.
Shiesty's motion erroneously asserts that the sum total of the government's case rests solely on a single victim, Gucci, who he further claims has now publicly recanted. Preliminary, it is telling that Shiesty provides no exhibits, evidence, context, or citations to support the repeated assertion in his filing that any victims of this offense has publicly recanted, aside from his conclusory assertions of the same. Again, this is all like legal bullshit. We know Gucci didn't recant. Gucci dropped a diss song explaining the whole fucking thing. So how the fuck is anyone thinking that Gucci recanted his statement when he dropped a diss song literally dissing Shiesty in Big 30, calling him a big flunky? In fact, the paperwork states the government is presently unaware of any statements made by any of the victims that in any way challenge the consistent narrative provided to law enforcement. And in April of 2026, after each co-conspirator had been apprehended, investigators conducted follow-up interviews with all 5 cooperating witnesses and victims. Each remained consistent with their prior accounts and reaffirmed their cooperation with the prosecution. So they're not only saying, look, we don't have any statements of any of them saying this didn't happen. They're saying, look, we doubled back and re-interviewed the victims, and all of them are saying, y'all did it. Gucci Man doubled back and told twice. He didn't just tell initially, he told again. Now, apparently they also got some cell phone text messages. In this case,
I don't blame Gucci though. Y'all gotta think, being a millionaire, billionaire, bro, that street stuff is dead. It's dead, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. It's really dead once you become a millionaire, a billionaire. Like, don't get me wrong, there be some millionaires that be throwing their life away. I ain't gonna lie, they be doing dumb shit. But in Gucci's situation, he is a big CEO for a big label. Why would he not go get back what was initially his to begin with? Why would he not defend himself in a situation that he didn't even really put himself in? You called me to the studio, you tried to force me to sign something. You my artist, I done made millions off you, nigga. And now you trying to be like, sign me over. Like, no, it don't work like that, bro. And everybody was expecting Gucci to go get back and not snitch. Bro, this is a real millionaire. This is someone that has millions in the bank, bro. Y'all don't understand business. Business and street don't mix. I don't care what nobody say. Business and street don't mix. If you in the streets and you trying to get into business, you got to leave the streets alone. The streets don't love you anyway, so I don't even know why you messing with the streets.
Shiesty used the cell phone to send text to Gucci coordinating the meeting. He encouraged Big 30 to capture Gucci's verbal release of contract using Big 30's cell phone, and he sent a call to arms to a group chat containing Chopper Gang members using an encrypted cell phone message application, Signal. So I just said previously, we don't know if Shiesty told 30 to do it. Apparently he did. He said, hey, you finna record this shit. And now that's one of the biggest pieces of evidence against him. I mean, this is getting bad. We're starting to see how much evidence they have. And you gotta understand, this is like watching a sports game play out, right? Or a UFC fight, right? Whoever you got winning, like, oh, I want him to win. And now you're starting to see the other team score or the other fighter whoop him, and you're like, damn, his chances of winning seem to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller because more and more and more shit are starting to come to light. But here, the feds are painting Shiesty as a violent felon, unwilling and unable to follow court-imposed rules. On the date of the kidnapping and robbery, Shiesty was still serving his 63-month sentence. The conduct behind this prosecution and subsequent conviction was prolonged and severe and included Shiesty shooting individuals on 2 separate occasions.
Miami and
Shiesty and his Chopper Gang affiliates have been on law enforcement's radar since at least 2018. In December of 2019, Memphis police officers executed a search warrant at Shiesty's residence and found him sitting on a Glock 22 pistol, along with a 50-round drum magazine.
You carrying around a 22 gang?
loaded with approximately 24 rounds, marijuana, and a bunch of money. In July of 2020, Shiesty reportedly threw fireworks at a gas station and drove away and returned in the same vehicle, at which point an occupant of the vehicle shot at the gas station. So these dudes are just trying to blow shit up on some Grand Theft Auto shit. Why would you be throwing fireworks at a gas station?
Yeah, that don't make sense to me. You must be the dumbest nigga ever. Which ain't nothing wrong with being the dumbest nigga ever, because y'all ever heard of that saying, somebody got to put the fries in the bag. So that means somebody got to be the dumbest nigga in the world. I'm just saying.
And then shooting at it. On October 9th of 2020, Shiesty drove a lime green McLaren with a fellow Chopper gang leader to commit an armed robbery. This was the case that he went to prison for. Shiesty ultimately shot one victim with his Draco. His fellow gang leader shot a second.
I'm honestly tired of hearing about, bro, because like, y'all know, we used to watch the violent stuff on the channel and stuff. We used to watch all the killings and the murders and stuff like that. Shiesty is just stupid, bro. Like, you threw away millions of dollars, bro, for what? For what?
And the entire incident was caught on video. If this pattern of violence was not enough, in May of 2021, while out on state bond, Shiesty shot a security guard at a club as he and his entourage were being removed from the venue. Prior to this assault, Shiesty had performed at this very club and had traveled to this performance armed. Now, Shiesty's street resume looks amazing if he's talking to the homies, but on federal papers, the shit looks fucking terrible. Now, the feds would quadruple down, saying no condition of release can protect the community or the witnesses against Shiesty from the danger he poses. The danger here is concrete. Shiesty himself has shot at least 2 people across 2 separate incidents. He leads a Memphis street gang of roughly 100 members, a gang that, as a Memphis gang detective has already testified, commits homicides, robberies, carjackings, and firearm and drug offenses. And when a business dispute did not go his way, he resolved it by luring the other side to Texas and putting a gun to a man's head. This is an individual who uses deception and violence to get his way. And that is why Shiesty is one of the top rappers of 2026, because that's what the fans like. They like to hear you're with the shit and you'll put a Draco to Gucci's head and completely kill whatever reputation Gucci had. And you know, they want you to be free, but if you get life plus a big 30 on top of that, they're all just gonna forget about you. They'll say free Shiesty for a couple years, and then after that, they're gonna go listen to somebody else. And this is the sad reality of crashing out. While Shiesty may be a solidified gangster, this is where it takes you. And if you want to follow in these footsteps and have the reputation he has, be prepared for facing forever in federal prison, because that's what comes with it. And it's so bad that apparently one of Gucci's security guards even emailed the judge begging for Shiesty not to get released. Dear Judge, this is CW, a victim and survivor from the incident that occurred on January 10th, 2026. First, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide my statement and response regarding the decision at hand concerning the bond for Shiesty. I respectfully ask that Shiesty remain remanded with no bond due to the safety concerns for myself and my family. Shiesty was aware that I am a vested retired police officer, and that knowledge did not stop him from committing these actions. Because of this, I am deeply concerned about what he may attempt to do if he is released. Out of all the victims involved in this case, I am the only one who lives in Texas, and I am extremely fearful of his ability to reach me or my family if he is granted bond. His actions show a disregard for the safety and well-being of others. These alleged crimes were committed while he was already under government monitored release, which raises serious concerns for me about what would prevent him from causing further harm if given another opportunity. Prior to this incident, Shiesty was given a second chance and was granted bail/bond with monitoring conditions. Despite those conditions, he is once again accused of committing another crime that resulted in a person being shot. My wife and I are both afraid of what his mindset may be if he is released. Since the incident, I have found myself constantly watching vehicles passing by my home, worried that he or someone connected to him may attempt to harm me or my family. I have young children, and because of this fear, I have limited their ability to go outside and enjoy normal activities as they should. Judge, I respectfully ask that you consider the safety and security of my family and me when making your decision regarding bond. I believe keeping Shiesty detained is necessary to protect us and prevent further harm. I'm gonna call it right now. I don't think he's ever going to be released out on bond.
Facts.
I don't think he's going to be released.
Pooh Shiesty cooked.
I don't know, for the next 10 to 15 years. That's being nice about it. If I'm being honest, I don't think Shiesty's coming home off this case. There's 5 people saying he did it. There's now video that's been recovered. They have a shitload of evidence. I don't see how any lawyer is going to be able to dumb this shit down. And we'll just have to wait until the next update.